the recitation of a few verses of the Holy Quran. I would therefore like to invite Brother Muzammil Ali Danji to come up front and bless this occasion with the recitation of a few verses of the Quran. As he's coming forward, can we have another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تهتدون. ولتكن منكم أمة يدعون إلى الخير ويأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر وأولئك هم المفلحون. ولا تكونوا كالذين تفرقوا واختلفوا من بعد ما جاءهم البينات وأولئك لهم عذاب عظيم. صدق الله العلي العظيم. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. O you who believe, be careful of your duty to Allah with the care which is due to Him. And do not die unless you are Muslims. And hold fast by the covenant of Allah altogether and be not disunited. And remember the favor of Allah on you when you were enemies. Then He united your hearts, so by His favor you became brethren. And you were on the brink of a pit of fire. Then He saved you from it. Thus does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make clear to you His communications that you may follow the right way. And from among you there should be a party who invite to good and enjoin what is right and forbid the wrong. And it is that shall be successful. And be not like those who became divided and disagreed after clear arguments had come to them. And these it is that shall have a grievous chastisement. Sadaqallahu al-aliyyul azim.
Thank you, Brother Muzammil. To be very honest, both those salawats were very, I don't know, people have malaria, I'm not sure. Can we have a loud salawat, please? Hassan, thank you. Once again, without any payment, I stand before you again They told me sawab nu kam che, sawab malse. Manasone pesa khape che. We are here to celebrate 90 years of SAAJ, and tonight I'm not here to recite a majlis or give a lecture, so you all have the good fortune of not listening to me today. As you must have seen the photo gallery and the physical photo gallery as you are entering inside, and you've also seen the lineup in the SAAJ broadcast messages as well for tonight. So I think without any further ado, I would therefore officially like to initiate these SAAJ celebrations. Too close. The 90 years of SAAJ celebrations. The other thing is not tonight. So for that, we have three lineup of speeches and talks by three respectable personalities. So without further ado, I would like to call upon the first one, Al-Haj Salim Datu, to kindly come forward. Can we have a loud salawat, please?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. This is a great honor to be able to read the handwritten notes of my father, Haji Rajab Ali Datu, who was the founding member of the Shia Isnashi Jamat in Nairobi in 1934. This is his story. History of the formation of Shia Isnashi Jamaat of Nairobi Park Road, as per the excerpts from Haji Rajab Ali Datu's various writings. When Mr. Rajab Ali Datu arrived in Nairobi in April 1934, there was no Jamaat. The Majlises were conducted at the residence premises of Mominin brothers. There was only one Khoja family, that of the late Mr. Nur Ali Danji, who was also related to Mr. Datu. On the day of Eid in 1934, at Haji Jamaluddin's residence, where the Eid prayers were being held, soon after the prayer, Haji Karamat Ali proposed for the formation of the Jamaat, and Mr. Datu was elected the first president of Jamaat, with Sayyid Sardar Ali Hussain Shamshi as the first secretary and treasurer. They also decided to build a mosque, imambara, and rest house for the benefit of the Jamaat members in East Africa. Mr. Datu fully supported the idea. Mr. Datu was then approached about the possibility of him spearheading the collections of funds from other members of the Jamaat in East Africa, which he promised his full support. Fundraising for those present began, and each contributed the equivalent of 1 month's salary towards the building fund. Mr. Datu also approached his late father, Haji Jia Datu of Mombasa, and got full support for the project. The late Mr. Ayub Ali was asked for his assistance in obtaining a suitable piece of land for the Imambara Mosque, and the Park Road property was obtained. The land was fully donated, and only a charge of Kenya shilling 72 for ground rent per year was levied. The Jamaat was very grateful for obtaining this magnificent piece of land. Soon after obtaining the land, Mr. Datu approached Mr. A. Hamid to prepare plans for the project. Mr. A. Hamid also donated his services to the Jamaat and the project. Mr. R. Datu, Haji Khurshid Ali, and the late Haji G. Datu started the tour of East Africa to collect funds from members of the East African Jamaat. The journey began from Mombasa together with the dignitaries of the Mombasa Jamaat who were busy collecting large donations from their members. Haji Khurshid Ali was engaged in collecting small funds from Kenya shillings 1 and above. So you can know the value of the shilling at that time. From Mombasa, the delegation went to Zanzibar, Dar es Salaam, Tanga, Pemba, Moshi, Arusha, Kampala, and Jinja, and managed to collect Kenya shillings 18,000. Haji Khurshid Ali was always very enthusiastic to collect funds and ended up staying on after the delegation had left. Unfortunately, he overstayed his leave and lost his job. His sacrifice must not be forgotten. Haji G. Datu of Mombasa was invited to lay the foundation stone of the new Imambara on 7th of May, 1938. A large number of members of the Jamaat who had an option to choose between Kenya or British citizenship opted for British citizenship. Soon after the 1964 general exodus of the pioneer members started, though the Jamaat lost many members, new membership started coming in from Zanzibar, Tanzania, and Uganda. This was a major historical event. At the time of writing this account, the Jamaat membership was above 600 members. Mr. Raza Nur Muhammad, who came from Mombasa earlier than others, joined in activities of the Jamaat and was ever ready to help me in various activities of the Jamaat. Mr. Muhammad Bakir's services cannot be left unmentioned. Mullah Bakir came as early as 1940s and his services still continue. The services of late Mr. Abdul Rasul Nurali Danji is greatly appreciated for his honorary services to our alims and others who were in need. Al-Hajj Mullah Asghar Ali, our chairman of the Supreme Council since his residence in Nairobi, has been a great advantage to the Jamaat and his guidance in all matters of activities of Jamaat and the progress of the Jamaat. Since Mullah Sahib's presence in Nairobi, Mahe Ramzan, Darsas, Dua, and Amals are very popular. More of our youngsters are more of our youngsters are taking interest by being present and creating more ronak. Jamaat is very much grateful, and this had been very much appreciated. The relationship with the Supreme Council has always been cordial since its formation and even before the Jamaat joined the council. I was unofficially represented the Jamaat and was well informed by continuously sending the Supreme Council deliberations and complaints from our members who had submitted to the Council and clarification and ultimately settled the matter to the satisfaction of all parties. Supreme Council was helpful to provide zakis for Muharram when resident Alim was away. Sartar Sadat's family in Nairobi were provided for at the recommendation of the Jamaat. In turn, Nairobi Jamaat had helped the Supreme Council by receiving alims at the airport and arranging for their temporary accommodation pending their postings. Fitra amount in surplus was sent to the Supreme Council for distribution. All this goes to indicate the cordial relationship which existed between the Jamaat and the Supreme Council. Since the Jamaat joined the Supreme Council, the relationship had further been cemented. This has been compiled and authentically as possible by myself and Fazana Datu, the late Onali Datu's daughter, who was also present for this history. In the future, we wish to add more notes as we gather more information from Mr. Haji Rajbali Datu's notes. At this point, I wish to thank the Chairman Al-Haj Zair Abbas Kimji for giving me the opportunity to read out the history of how our Jamaat came into formation. May we all recite Surah Fatiha for our founding members and Kul Marumeen. Al-Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you, Sadiq Uncle, for that very informative talk. Senior citizens and youth are both equally important for any community, for any Jamaat. With the execution of youth, and please listen to this very carefully, these next few words. The execution of youth and the experience of senior citizens drives a community. I'm so happy that Nairobi Jamaat not only gives a chance to our respected senior citizens, but it also gives a chance to our youth to come and talk. I would therefore like to call upon our youngest speaker for tonight. Next in line is Al-Haj Manzoor Kanani. I don't know why you are laughing. I'm very serious just now. Manzoor Uncle, to please come forward for his talk. As he's coming forward, can we have a loud salawat, please? It's okay, I'm not here for very long, it's fine.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Sheikh Ali, Chairman of the Jamaat, my elders and brothers, Salamun alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I intend to go from SAAJ Park Road to SAAJ JIC when all the chairmen from that time till now have contributed to this community, and that's where we have reached. I would like to start from 1975, like my brother Salim Datu mentioned. I just want to correct him a little. You see, the Africa Federation is the federation for the Khoja Shia Ishnashri Jamaats, you see. And it was Mullah Asghar in 1975 who obtained dispensation for Nairobi Jamaat to join Africa Federation. And then at the same time, Mullah Asghar, along with Judge Lakha, along with Hassan, Ali Muhammad Jafar, Ahmad Ali Jafar, and many other prominent members, mooted the idea of having a world federation. And the first constitutional conference of World Federation was held in London in 1976, where again Nairobi Jamaat was given opportunity to have 6 delegates there, and they were Dr. Danji, Sheni Musa, Musif Ali, Naushad Merali, Pyarali Nanji, and myself. And we have been put there now as the founding members of the World Federation. Taking you back in 75, I must mention Sheikh Yaqub Ali, father of Mehboob Ali Sheikh. I had the honor to know him personally, and he was the Secretary General of the Governor General of Kenya during the colonial times, back in those years. And he was awarded also OBE. Coming to um, 1980, after Haji Rajab Ali Datu, there was Haji Karamat Ali, who was the chairman of the Jamaat for many years, and that was followed by Sheni Musa from 1980 to 1983. Now, Sheni Musa, during his term, the actual structure was only a mosque and a small imambara on the ground floor, and then there was another Musafir Khana. But Musafir Khana was only about 2-3 rooms, and this was very small, where ladies used to sit at the back. So during his time, they demolished the, imambara, and built the imambara with another story on top of it, and also madrasa classes, 2 floors, 1 and 2. And also, Dudwala family, they donated, for Musafir Khana, where 2 floors were built, Musafir Khana. Coming to (1983), I was requested by my 2 very close friends, Shad Merali and Pyarali Nanji, to be the chairman of the Jamaat. And I had a blessing of Haji Rajab Ali Datu, Naushad Merali's father, who was very helpful all the time, Al-Haj Musa Janab, and other elders that really supported me, and I was elected unopposed. When elected, I found the offices of the Jamaat were in the Musafir Khana, right in the corner, small room opposite the toilets, and no files were there, so we said we have to have a proper office, and it was the Mullah Nanji family who donated towards the office which we had, and that office, we furnished it well, and it was, we put all the files in place. In the corner, one corner, we found 2 boxes with so many documents. So we went through each and every document. Right at the bottom, we found the title deeds of this property, you see, of SAAJ. And we gathered all those documents, and then we had a very nice office The furniture we put in that office, we are using it till here, till today in our offices here. Coming to Madrasa during during Karamat Ali's time, Madrasa was being handled by Mullah Hassan. Mullah Hassan used to run the madrasa, you see, single person, you know, and he used to teach Quran and Diniyat and all these things, you know. Then when Ali Raza Nanji came here to Nairobi, Akbar Asaria was, I think, sitting in the board of Muslim Girls' School. So he organized that we use the classes there for madrasa, for children, and then we have this, what you call it, and also the parking at the Muslim Girls' School. In the meantime, the other madrasa classes were being built. Coming to madrasa, I am pleased to announce that we had one day during the holy month of Ramadan, Ali Raza Nanji comes to me and says, on 21st Ramzan, he's telling me on the eve of 21st Ramzan that we are not going to open the madrasa because I don't have teachers on 2nd Shawwal. So I told him, okay, you leave it to me. I went on the mic and I announced, I said, if I don't have 20 parents coming forward to come and teach in the madrasa, I said, madrasa will not be opened, I said. And you will be surprised, instead of 20 parents I requested, there were 40 parents who came forward, you know, and some of them are probably present here. Now, they came forward, they were allocated classes to teach, but they said, we don't have experience in teaching, you see. We are having problems. So, Nairobi Jamaat, at that time, we organized a teachers training seminar for madrasa teachers. It was the first of its kind ever held in whole of world, you see. And we had an instructor coming from Canada and Bana Ali from Arusha, and they conducted this, and we had 40 teachers available at the madrasa, and the madrasa was fully operational. That was the best achievement we have had. You see. Besides that, coming to Kabristan. When we went to Kabristan, it was very, what do you call it, it was, there were no perimeter walls there, so we built the perimeter walls. Even the building there was small. We got that thing done. We tried to look for the documents of Kabristan. We couldn't find the title deeds of Kabristan. So Ramzan then went and found out, but he was given the scroll from the governor's office, you know, for the allocation of Kabristan to us instead of this, you know. And he had to spend 5,000 shillings at that time. It was a lot of money anyway. So then numbering of the graves, we did it, which is very inconvenient. And lately now we have been trying for a very long time, you know, to get a passage through the Hindu councils. This one, we're not successful. But then, inshallah, this, alhamdulillah, Mika Saria and Shakir Merali, they managed to get it, you know, from Parsi people. Not only that, there were squatters in there. The squatters had to be paid about 4 million shillings, you know, and also to prepare the pavements and all these things. There were 4 million shillings to be spent, you know, which was done, raised by them and done by them. So that was another nice work done by the Jamaat. And we have been having a lot of nice things we have been doing. We have streamlined. Musafir Khana was Jamaat had no income whatsoever. So Musafir Khana was streamlined. Mullah Nanji family was paying for the breakfast and dinner for the guests because there was no restaurants nearby where anybody could go and eat, you know. So they were providing free of charge at Musafir Khana, and we had streamlined all these things, so it was done well, you see. And then there was a nice income coming from there. Another income which we generated, we saw that sadaqah money was being spent, you know, for the niyaz and all these things. So what did we do for niyaz? You see, for niyaz, we said, we were told that there is one Christian called Mango, is cooking there, you see. So this Mango, we had to move him, and we got our ladies, you know, who were on the sort of welfare cases or that thing, you know. And that lady, she had no experience to cook big amount of food, you know, but Naushad Mirali's father knew how to cook those things. So he came and taught that lady how to cook, you know, and she had been cooking all these years, you know. So that was all done. And when we saw that sadaqah money is being spent, you know, and not being accounted for, we prepared the boxes for sadaqah, locked it, kept the keys in the Jamaat office, and gave it to each individual, you know. And every month, Pyarali Nanji used to go and collect this sadaqah money, open these boxes in front of the owners, collect the sadaqah money, give them the receipt, and then come to the office, you see. So that was another thing which we had streamlined completely. And there are many other things that were done. It was felt by, at that time, Judge Lakha and this one, Razadatu, and my brother Abdul Khalfan, they were all connected with Africa Federation, and they suggested that here, for people to have proper advantage of the majlis, you know, the best language to be used would be English, you know. So Nairobi Jamaat was amongst the first Jamaats in the whole of world actually to start majalis in English so that everybody could understand, you see. And these majalis were recited by Judge Lakha himself sitting on the mimbar. This one, Al-Haj Datu sitting on the mimbar, you know, and Brother Abdul Razak Khalfan also sitting on the mimbar reciting the majalis, you see. So that was another, you know, achievement, you know, that introduction of majalis in English, you know, in the whole world, you know, in our community has been done, was initiated, you know, we were amongst the first ones to do that here, you see. And there are many such things, but I don't have much of a time. And I would like to come now to the development of this project and all these things, you see. Now, this plot, you know, both the plots, I mean, for the Jamaat and the club were obtained during the time of Ashik Rashid, who was the chairman, but those plots were acquired by Brother Muhammad Karmali, you see. And you might be surprised that after acquiring those plots for Jamaat, Ashik Rashid knew it after about 3 to 4 years back afterwards. And then Brother Zulfikar Khimji. Brother Zulfikar Khimji, when he became the chairman, he straight away started working on this. He said, no, we have to develop these projects and all these things. So we had to raise money, and Brother Ramzan Nanji and myself, we joined hands with him, and we helped him go and raise the funds, you know. I traveled even up to, I would say, I traveled even up to UK. I traveled up to Madagascar. I traveled to other places, Mombasa, Dar es Salaam, to gather funds for our project here. And also locally, we managed to gather a lot of funds, like I got a lot of funds from Brother Naushad Mirali. This Mullah Nanji family built us classes, for Madrasa, and later on, of course, they were told that we should use that as for the school, so they also agreed to put another floor, and for that one also they donated. And also for that school, when we started, it was started by this one, Hassan Ali. And what happened was this Muhammad Hassan Ali was started this school, and Ramzan, they were not only building there, they contributing to the building, all these things. He, for first 2 years, he had been paying the expenses of the school, because the school was not meeting the expenses, of the school. It is Brother Ramzan Nanji who was doing that, you see. And then we gathered the fund for this place. Brother Zulfikar planned everything, and we got this place. And then Brother Zulfikar, when he finished his term, that's when the opening was done, you see. Yeah. But then he said he's going to contest for the position of Africa Federation. And for that, we were campaigning for him to the extent that I traveled personally on the day of election to Madagascar to gather votes from them, you see, because Madagascar people, when they were traveling, they used to go there, you see. So he became the chairman of Africa Federation. He was very proactive there, and what he did when he became the chairman, he appointed Ramzan Nanji as his vice chairman. He appointed me as his personal advisor. He appointed me as his so he was a speech writer, and he also appointed me. He also gave me, because he had seen my work with the World Federation as the vice president of the World Federation, and he had given me, what you call it, he had awarded me the highest medal of the Africa Federation, that is Haydari medal, which was the 9th medal in 150 years to be given out, you see. So he has been a wonderful person. He has been a very close friend. I had very close relationship with him. And even when he was, and he also started selling all the old properties of Africa Federation, buying the new properties there, and then he wanted to invest those properties, but unfortunately he left us, and Ramzan Nanji took over as the chairman of Africa Federation, and Ramzan Nanji awarded Zulfikar Kimji Haydari medal, posthumous, and not only that, but he also started a ZACMEF education fund, higher education fund, which is still being used and which is Sawabe Jariya. Zulfikar has honored me a lot and everything, and because of that, chairman, brother, this one, he has probably used some very unreasonable words for me, and even branded me as a troublemaker in the community, while my service has been over 60 years in this community in different capacities. You know, I very willingly forgive my brother, our chairman, for whatever he has done for me. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Manzoor Uncle, for that enlightening talk. Before I call upon the next speaker, affiliated to our next speaker, you know, the problem is I don't have a script tonight, so I'm going impromptu. But there is a hadith that has been narrated. Certain scholars say it's been narrated by the Prophet, by the Holy Prophet. Certain people have said, no, it's been narrated by Amirul Mu'mineen, Imam Ali alayhi salam. In which one of them has been reported to have said, Man allamani harfan, sarat lahu abda, or sayyarani abda, or in Sharh Risalatul Huquq, it says, Man allamani harfan kuntu lahu abda. And all of them mean whoever has taught me one letter has made me his slave. Kuntu lahu abda. It's a metaphor which means if you teach me one letter or one concept or impart knowledge, however minimal it might be, I will remain forever indebted to you. Many of our students have been indebted to our next speaker. And having said that, I would like to call upon Al-Hajj Fazli Abbas Chandu. Mali Fazli Abbas, please come forward. Can we have a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad? Sorry, Mariam, there's just two quick announcements. One, I've been told, this is not me, I've been told that there's a lot of noise from the ladies. Na'udhu billah, this can never happen, I know, but somebody has said it, so I'm announcing that at the back there's a lot of noise. I am totally against this announcement because I do not believe that ladies can make noise. The second announcement is, what was it now? Memory problems, yes. The ladies are requested to go and view the physical photo gallery because after Niyaz, the gents will be going. Yeah, there's a speaker outside, so you can listen to the next speeches. But if you can go, for those of you who have not witnessed it, please go, because after Niyaz, then the gents will be going. One more salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Samahat Sheikh Ali Samoja, the chairman and managing committee members of Nairobi Jamaat, all leaders, past, present, and future, so my younger brothers and sisters, all included in this greeting, Mu'mineen and Mu'minat, Salamun alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I was half waiting for Dr. Imran Versi to call me a toddler because he called Manzoor Uncle very young. It is my humble privilege to be here today to mark 90 years of this illustrious Jamaat, which, by the way, is the only Jamaat that I can call my own. A lot of you know that I was not born and bred in Nairobi, but I've spent all my adult life here. It is an additional honor to have been part of at least 1/3 of this journey, having lived in Nairobi for just over 30 years. My task today is to recall and reflect on the journey of Haydari Madrasa, which has been part of this Jamaat for 55 of the 90 years. As I start my reflection today, I would like to start with a prayer to the Almighty, to Allah Azza wa Jal, to grant His innumerable blessings on each and every individual. And believe you me, the list is too long and too extensive, and sometimes not very visible for me to even attempt to do justice to it. And for Allah knows best. And that Allah should grant His innumerable blessings on every individual who has in one part or another been part or contributed to Haydari Madrasa. Some of whom are still with us, and many of whom have already proceeded to their eternal abode. May Allah grant them the best of rewards in the hereafter. And with that, I would request for a Surah Fatiha at the onset of my reflection. Fatiha. I will start in the year 1965. Neither was I born, nor was I in Nairobi. The vision, the inception, the seed was planted. The journey began in the able and steady hands of Al-Hajj Mullah Hassan Uncle M. Jafar in 1969. I had the opportunity to interact with him on many occasions, but I was particularly mesmerized by the reflection he wrote in the booklet commemorating 30 years of Haydari Madrasa in 1999. And the prime message he conveyed there was his tribute to his teachers, as surely we all must in our life. The journey began at what was then Ladakh Hall. Those of us who are a little bit younger in Nairobi, and 30 years, and I still call myself young, Ladakh Hall, first block to the left of the entrance of Park Road complex, 20 students, one teacher teaching Quran, Diniyat, Akhlaq, and Islamic history, as we used to call it then. A few volunteers with him, many of whom may have now gone on their eternal journey. Some of the original students of Haydari Madrasa, fortunately, still live in Nairobi. And I will particularly recall a chat I had with Al-Hajj Muslim Kimji. I don't know if he's in the audience today. Thank you very much, Muslim Bhai. He reminisced very fondly his days under Hassan Uncle in Ladakh Hall. I am now proud to say his grandchildren come to Haydari Madrasa. Indeed, a testimony to the profound impact this institution has had on our and our children and grandchildren's spiritual nourishment. 1975, Marhum Ali Raza Nanji, fondly remembered as Ada, took the reins of Madrasa in 1975, and by mid-1977, the number of students had grown to 130. Ladakh Hall was now too small, and like Manzoor Uncle reminisced, 3 classes were hired from Muslim girls' school to accommodate our students. On to September 1981, the first set of classrooms was inaugurated at Park Road Complex, allowing us to move our children back into our own environment for madrasa classes. In August 1982, the madrasa classes now having moved to classrooms, Ladakh Hall was repurposed to become Haydari Library, a facility that young and old benefited from. From books, this facility grew to audio and videotapes, onto CDs, and unfortunately, the era of YouTube brought an end to that illustrious organization. I would wish to recall Marhum Shabir Muhammad Hussain Jan Muhammad's dedication to that institution for many, many years. In 1982, maybe 83, I can't get the exact date from our Madrasa archives, under the patronage of the Madrasa, a video production of Ahkam-e Mayyat was produced. with Marhum Ada bravely playing the role of a dying person, from Sakarat to lying on the concrete slab while water was poured over him for ghusl, and he was shrouded with kafan and laid in a grave in our in our Muslim Road Park Qabristan. For those who may be interested, that video is now uploaded on YouTube. If you search for Ahkam Mayyit Nairobi, very grainy video production. This videotape, and at that time it was not very easy to reproduce videotapes, was then circulated to most of our Jamats, and it did form the basis of becoming a tutorial for the Ghusl Kafan committees in various Jamats. In April 1985, again, as Manzoor Uncle has just reminisced, Haydari Madrasa hosted the first ever Madrasa teachers training that anybody had ever heard of in our Khoja Shia Isnashri world, which also coincided with the opening of the third floor of the Madrasa complex at Park Road. Marhum Raza Uncle Datu, Dr. Nizar Merali of London were among the instructors who did train, like Manzoor Uncle said, novices with a bit of knowledge in religious education, but train them to make them teachers. I, as then a rookie young teacher from Tanga, had the fortune of attending that Madrasa teacher training. And that is where my journey as a teacher actually started. And if I may reminisce, having come from a very small community, Madrasa in our world was a blackboard with two hooks hung from a window in the Imam Bara, with different classes occupying different corners. And God help you that one teacher is teaching you Shakiyat and Namaz in this corner, and in the next corner, they're very young children now learning Pratham Ali. Alhamdulillah, we all had our own journeys. For the first time ever, some of us who had come from smaller Jamats realized that Madrasa classes were to be conducted by sitting on desks and chairs in a classroom and not on bankras with a blackboard hanging from a window of the Imam Bara. In 1987, and this is by far the biggest milestone I believe our Madrasa has taken in the history of Madaris in the Khoja world, the Haydari Madrasa undertook a groundbreaking endeavor to formulate a comprehensive Madrasa syllabus. This included students' textbooks, teaching guides, and reference material, with references down to the mas'ala numbers in the Risala of Maraja at that time. I do believe by then it was already Ayatollah Sistani's time. No? Ayatollah Khui? Yes, it was still Tawzi'ul Masail of Ayatollah Khui. Thank you, Fatmanti. This syllabus was adopted globally, first within Africa at the Federation meetings, then subsequently adopted globally. And the booklet that I referred to with Marhum Ada and others reminisces when the 1999 30 years celebration was held. Marhum Mullah Asghar actually refers to that by saying he is proud of Nairobi Madrasa for having created a syllabus that is now adopted globally. This syllabus was then translated to Gujarati in Mumbai under Marhum Ada's patronage, primarily for use in Madagascar, because the lingua franca there is not English, and then adopted by a lot of our Khoja Madaris in India, in Bhavnagar and in Gujarat. I am again very proud to say, among many others, people like Mullah Muhammad Kasmali, Sheikh Hasnain Bilal, I do believe Marhum Dr. Muhammad Rashid of Mombasa and Shabir Rashid, Khalil Jafar, a few names that come to mind, were very instrumental in developing this. And for the first time in our Khoja world, we had a structured syllabus where if a child left a particular city, they could go with a testimonial saying, we have completed book 4 in Moshi, and therefore now I can join Dar Islam Madrasa from book 5 or class 5 onwards. I'm also proud to note that this syllabus remained the primary framework used by most Madaris in the Khoja world until the recent formulation of the World Federation MCE Tarbiyah curriculum. In 1995, Levington JIC Jafri Islamic Center construction commenced, and the madrasa moved to a better purpose-built set of classrooms in Jafri Islamic Center in 1997. What we see today as the Nairobi Jafri Academy block, I proudly talk about it as the madrasa block with the school floor on top. The plaque at the entrance remains testimony to that. And in some light-hearted moments with different managements of the school board, I still call the madrasa as the landlords and the Nairobi Jafri Academy as the tenants. 1999 marked the 30 years of the madrasa, and a grand event including exhibits, displays, and a play was hosted by students and teachers. And I'm proud to see a lot of people with gray hair like me were at that time young participants in all those exhibits and events. The event was graced by Marhum Muhammad Baidirani, who was the then chairman of Africa Federation. I would also like to note here that unfortunately COVID put paid to our plans, because 2019 would have marked 50 years of Haydari Madrasa, and we had planned a similar event in 2020, but COVID forced us to. And I look forward, inshallah, that in a few more years, that we will have the Golden Jubilee celebration. Or no, the Diamond Jubilee celebration marking 60 years of Haydari Madrasa. In 2002, the Madrasa took a comprehensive review of the whole curriculum, digitized all the textbooks. I have to recall that the earlier set was actually offset print and there was no digital copies. Some of us still may be having those multicolored textbooks called Islamic Religious Education Syllabus. For those who may wish to refer to it, the Haydari Madrasa proudly holds one complete set in its archives. I believe some people have it in their home collections as well. 2002, a comprehensive review. Haydari Madrasa went high-tech with its first PC and email address on a dial-up connection. The new syllabus and books were digitized, were available in Word. They could then be printed on demand. Graphic illustrations started coming in. In 2003, under the patronage of Marhum Raza Uncle, Haydari Madrasa introduced a teacher's training program for students who had graduated from Madrasa. I'm immensely glad to say 21 years down the road, that program is still very robust. This program has produced a whole generation in 21 years of teachers who have served both Haydari Madrasa Nairobi and other Jamats globally, and these teachers now proudly carry the flag of Haydari Madrasa. On 4th of August, 2009, on 4th of August 2009, the Haydari Madrasa suffered an irreplaceable loss with the passing on of Marhum Ali Raza Nanji. We fondly remembered him as Ada, and he surely was a father figure to everybody from student to teacher to administrator to volunteer in Haydari Madrasa. His stellar, unparalleled contribution to the Haydari Madrasa of 35 years will forever be remembered. His vision, his dedication to this institute can only be enumerated in the court of the Almighty Allah. I will go off script and quote one little anecdote here. I have mentioned the Jannat Nichavi anecdote when I had the honor of receiving the Jafri Medal. But in the creation and development of the syllabus in 1987, a payment of 750,000 Kenya shillings. I do believe the dollar was 7 shillings and 50 cents at that time. A payment of 750,000 shillings was required to be given to the printer. The curriculum development, editing, all that was done by a huge group of volunteers, some of whom may actually be here today. Some of us had the honor of serving on that team. The 750,000 was this enormous figure. And Marhum Ada Through all his life, he refused for this fact to be acknowledged. I am taking the opportunity to talk of it now because it is time that some of those contributions should be remembered. Many other contributions that he made that we have no record of, because the madrasa in his administration never wanted for money. The 750,000 shilling seed money was put in by Marhum Ali Raza Nanji. The books were printed, distributed globally. His only condition, if I may call it that, was one, that whenever these books are sold, the money should be put back in a separate account and recirculated only for the purposes of madrasa textbooks. Over the last few years, we have been receiving madrasa textbooks from courtesy of Africa Federation Tabligh Board. I am proud to say that that amount still remains in a fixed deposit account. And for that stellar visionary contribution, I would request a loud salawat. With the passing off of Marhum Ada, Fatmanti as the then deputy, and the rest of the madrasa team, while orphaned and disoriented, kept the ship sailing and imparting religious education continued. In the years that followed Marhum Ada's departure, our team has continued in this journey, and I pray to Allah to accept our humble efforts and contribution in nurturing our children to follow the path of Ahlul Bayt. In 2012, we again undertook a full review of the curriculum, and seeing the approach of new, more illustrated, better explained textbooks, we asked Hujjat Madrasa Stanmore, which had taken the same original syllabus of Marhum Ada and published it in a more illustrative, more children-friendly manner, to allow us to use their textbooks. This was our modus operandi as a stepping stone, because the World Federation was already developing the current Madrasa Center of Excellence Tarbiyah curriculum. After a thorough review and consultation with teachers, students, and teaching experts, Haydari Madrasa adopted the World Federation MC curriculum in 2019. This novel approach was designed to present a Quranic worldview and prepare our children for the challenges they will face in this age of technology. Since then, alhamdulillah, I am honored and am pleased to say that our madrasa has continued to invest in teacher development. From the very first one on 1985 that we just spoke about under Raza Uncle to date. Our madrasa, I am glad to say, has a good number of teachers who have completed the MCE teaching skills program and now are certified under the NCFE training in the United Kingdom and are accredited teachers. We are also proud to have certified trainers for this program who then with that, and Haydari Madrasa also has undergone repeated MCE teacher training, again run by the World Federation. In addition to the teaching skills, which is purely a teaching methodology training, the curriculum training is more geared towards how best to impart religious, our own Shia Madhab education to our children. I am also proud to note that Nairobi Madrasa now has certified trainers for both these programs who are now offering training not only to our own madrasa teachers in Nairobi, but are engaged with other madrasas and FS and will assist Aftab in training teachers in various jamats in East and Central Africa. Alhamdulillah, our madrasa continues to set an example in post-12-year madrasa training. With the graduation and teacher training programs, which has seen not only a dedicated bunch of young teachers, but has also worked towards preparing young adults in their journey after madrasa, especially in universities when in this country and abroad. At this point, I wish to acknowledge Al-Hajj Anwar Ali Dharamsi of Dar es Salaam, who upon the completion of Hadi Apartments, very graciously donated one apartment, the rent of which is dedicated towards catering for the madrasa expenses. This donation, in addition to the fees we collect from the parents, and you know what I say in all madrasa presentations, and I will not repeat it here, alhamdulillah, makes the madrasa self-sufficient. Mu'minin, as I come to the end of my brief commentary on the journey of this illustrious organization that I have the proud privilege to serve, I will request that we all raise our hands and ask Almighty Allah Azza wa Jal to grant His tawfiqat to all those of us who still have the honor of serving in this amazing institution, and to grant an elevated place to those who have departed from this temporary world. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hassan, thank you so much, Malim, for that very eloquent presentation on the journey of Madrasa. Sheikh Ali, you know, you and I have both been put into trouble by our chairman because we want to go off script, and he had said we need now to call the resident alim to come forward and say a few words. Imagine, Sheikh. What do we do now? Can we have a loud salawat for Sheikh Ali, please?
This is the first time I'm caught off guard. Never expected to be here this time. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من اللعين الشيطان الرجيم بفضل الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين. لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين أرواحنا وأرواح العالمين لترابي مقدمه الفداء. My dear elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this moment, for bringing us, all of us here tonight, to look back at the achievements we have achieved so far, and to appreciate those who have contributed to what we be having at this time. I would like to congratulate the Jamaat and the World Federation for initiating this program. And as I mentioned in my Friday sermon, or I think I mentioned here on this member, that it is very, very important for us to keep memories and cherish whatever we have achieved in our lives. And that our elders who have done so much must be remembered, because they carry a lot for us today in this world. We are not what we are apart from what they have done for us in the past. So looking at the history, or any community, looking at the history is very important to know the roots, where we're coming from. What are the contributions of other people to what we have today? If we ignore the history and we ignore what other people did, we cannot know how to proceed, how to move forward. And therefore, these are one of those important functions that we should really appreciate, because they, from these such functions, we are able to pass a lot of memories to the youngsters, to the new generations, and to know where we are coming from. It was very pleasing to see on the wall a long history of the Jamaat, of the Khoja Jamaat. Where did they come from? Starting from some parts of Iran and Afghanistan, and going down to India, migrating to Europe, to America, to East Africa, and a lot has been done. It is really amazing to have this history and to know that we have come a long way, and that many people sacrifice a lot for the development of what we have. And the Khojas across the world have done a lot for not only for themselves, but for Islam, for the for the madhab of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. If I may just recall something related to us as Africans, we have been lucky or fortunate rather to be guided to the school of thought of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam through the contributions of the Khojas, of our brothers who have been in this country for those years. Many people have been able to see the light of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam through the work of your parents, the elders of these communities. And we are really thankful for that. And we also pray for them that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them for the work they have done, because it is through them that we manage to see this light. You will be surprised that today in this country, there are very remote areas, some places where you would not ever think that some people will come to know what is Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. You go down to some places in Western Kenya, for example, in Busia, in very remote areas, and you find that there is light of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam in this. And it came through the efforts of the people of this community. Marhum Ada, whom I was also very close to, and I traveled with him to some of these places, done a lot to spread the madhab of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam in very far places. Some people wonder what was in his mind when he was thinking of these places. For some people, tabligh was that it should be in their eyes, and that they should see what is happening. But he managed to take this message to very far places, and some of you may not have even thought of those areas that I'm talking about. But this is the work of such a community. There is a lot that has been achieved in Kenya, in East Africa, through the contributions of this community. And just to also mention a few, for example, there has been Jamadiul Akhir in Nairobi, as well as Jamadiul Akhir in Nakuru. And many children of our community benefited from such a facility. They have gone to places. They still regard themselves to belong to these institutions. And there is also a cry in their hearts that, where are these institutions? How do we contribute, to such institutions so that more people can benefit? I wish there would be a time when you can also invite some of these key, persons who have benefited from the work of such a community, of the Khoja communities, and they would talk of many things in their lives, and you'd be proud and appreciate that the efforts of many people have not gone into a loss. There's a lot that has been achieved, and we still continue to benefit from this very generous community. The Khoja community, I would say, has been very generous, very kind, and has contributed quite a lot to the spread of madhab of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. In many ways, in different at different levels, mashallah, there's a lot that has been achieved. This needs to be highlighted because sometimes the focus is on the benefits that go to some individuals here and there. But look at the impact of the community at large, and you'd be happy that there's something that is happening. Apart from some projects which have helped, to uplift certain communities and certain organizations and all that. And I would not like to sit down, you asked me to come here, so I have the liberty to take my time, inshallah. But I will not take long, don't worry. Myself, in the past few years that I've been here, I don't like to call myself a resident alim because I don't think I qualify for that position. But unfortunately, I stood in these shoes. But the time I've been here with the Jamaat, I believe I got an opportunity to serve my community at a very large extent. And believe me, maybe the Jamaat itself may not have benefited from me personally. I don't want to highlight anything. Like the way my community, the African community, I mean, the Shia community I belong to has benefited from me. We have been able, in this time that I've been here, to revive certain organizations, to come up with new initiatives with other brothers, of course, and with the support of some other people. But the main support has been from this community. We have been able even to start certain institutions, learning institutions, through the support from this community. I would talk, for example, of having been able to start a house for girls by the name Sayyidah Zainab, salamullahi ta'ala alayha, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad, with the support of Hajj Ramzan Nanji, for example, at Kirigiti, and we have started another one in Syokimau, 2 campuses, having around 40 girls, in these 2 places, and they are all benefiting from this institution. And many times, even, I find I get support for these girls to attend some of the programs here, to come for Jumu'ah prayers. Transport is provided for free, and we even had a trip to other places, to Nakuru, for example, courtesy of the support of the Jamaat. And many other activities that we have had as Nairobi Shia Network, for example, being supported to benefit from the Park Road complex, which is always provided for us without any question whenever we have any program to start anything and to do anything. The Ahlul Bayt Assembly had a very big function here, the conference at the Nairobi in GIC, and we hosted East Africa youth from East Africa, from Tanzania, from Uganda, from Rwanda, and Ayatollah Sheikh Ramadhani was here from the World Federation, World Assembly, World Ahlul Bayt Assembly was here. He attended this program. It has been a lot that we have benefited from this community and from the leadership of this community. And I pray that, inshallah ta'ala, this continues, and that the initiatives that have been there, inshallah ta'ala, continue. And this cannot be, if I was told what to, that I would be speaking, I would have made my, speech brief, but in many points. I would not forget that personally I got an opportunity to be exposed to represent SAAJ, this community at a national level, and with the support from our dear Dr. F.S. Abdullah, to be at IRCK as a member. IRCK stands for Interreligious Council of Kenya, okay, a body that brings together different denominations, different religions of the country, and has a big influence on many issues of this country. And I have been there with other brothers under the leadership of Dr. F.S. Abdullah, and he has always, supported me to represent SAAJ in different forums across the country, in Nairobi, Mombasa. Alhamdulillah, I've benefited from these kind of trips. With the permission of the chairman, he has had some complaints from the Jamaat, like Sheikh Ali is traveling all over every time. But he knows what we do whenever we travel for the service of the community, and representing Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, the Shia in this country. So We pray that, inshallah ta'ala, this beautiful community continues to prosper and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses it to be among the supporters of the Imam of our time, Ajalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif, and and to bless all the individuals who have contributed always for this cause and for their souls. Let us remember them with Surah Barakatil Fatiha. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much, Sheikh. Very rightly pointed out on the importance of history. With the hadith that also says, "Man lam yajdur bil ibara, fa fi qulubihim sakha." Whoever does not take lessons from history will find their hearts hardened. Hardened here means from hidayah, from guidance. I've got very exciting news for all of you. It's never happened before. I'm very surprised. Very, very good news. You people thought that you will wait till the end to get barbecue, right? How many of you thought that you will get barbecue until the program finishes at the end? That's what all of you thought, right? Raise of hands, how many are hungry? Majority? So this is the news. For those of you who thought that you will wait till the end to get barbecue, you are right, you will wait till the end. Next in line, hey, it's a long program. We can do the elections continue after this if you want, but he's busy. Next in line is, look, the next speaker I am not going to make fun of. I will not tease, joke, anything. I don't mess with people who have the power of YouTube. So I would like to call upon the chairman of SAAJ Nairobi, Al-Haj Zahir Abbas Kimji, to please come forward with your loudest salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Our dearest elders, brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think my voice is quite audible, so maybe you can reduce the volume a little because other speakers were talking very say softly. So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, as Sheikh Ali, you started by starting with the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Definitely we are here by His ultimate grace and His rizq. So there is nothing else to say about our Creator. As we have heard from the previous speakers, Nairobi Jamaat has been a beacon of progress from the 1980s. This Jamaat has been a shining light in the Khoja world from a very long time ago. And Alhamdulillah, contrary to what other people believe, it is still a shining beacon of light and now also of justice in our Khoja world. Very interestingly, my biological father, Muslim Kimji, he gave me a very interesting fact about Park Road. When the exodus in Uganda happened, obviously people moved to different places, and the Nanjis moved to Nairobi and other people. So when they moved to Nairobi, in Park Road, you will notice at a certain point there is paint, right? And at a certain point there is tarazo. That tarazo was the sahan of the masjid. And it was then pulled out where the arcs currently are, where the doors are. That was pulled out, and then the sahan was built. So it's you can say like a mark of history on the floor of that masjid, how the expansion was done. Also, I've been to the third floor in Park Road, where the whole floor was donated by Marhum Noshad Merali. Great, contribution and achievement for our Jamaat, because it was an expansion for the Madrasa. All the classes, we've been there because we had a lot of plans for Park Road, and as I've mentioned in many videos, it didn't work out, which is fine. The next committee, at least, we say, if we finish all the work ourselves, they would have had no work to do. So the next committee would have done your kazi. So it was a good thing to see in Park Road. First day was by, you mentioned what I had actually written, and I wrote here, from the info I have, and good thing you have confirmed it, that the Madrasa curriculum, the first one was made in Nairobi. Now that's a very big achievement for the whole world to have a curriculum from our Jamaat that was used globally until MCE, which is around 2010-11, when Dr. Asghar Mouladina was the president of the World Federation. So for almost a good 20-30 years, our curriculum of this Jamaat, your Jamaat, was used around the world to educate our children. That's a very big achievement. And just for that, I think we all deserve a very loud salawat. Also, the first teacher training was held in Nairobi for, I think, East Africa, if I'm not mistaken, during the time of Marhum Ada. So again, very illustrious and forward-thinking Jamaat we've always had. Coming to the 1990s, JIC Levington was the largest center in the Khoja world. Until today, this is still one of the largest centers in our community. Again, a very big achievement and something we should all be. I don't like to use the word proud. Say, I am proud. I am not proud. We say, we thank Allah for His ultimate and infinite blessing that He has given us the honor among people. Actually there is a dua, I think it's Monday or Tuesday, Monday or Wednesday, where it says, the dua of the fourth Imam, it says, exalt me among my clan and people. Fourth Imam is asking Allah to exalt him. So when we are exalted, we should be thankful to Allah first for the honor He has given us. So having one of the largest centers in the world, alhamdulillah, is a great blessing for us. Now I'll come to a few comments on the speeches that have been given. Alhaj Manzoor Karani said that we were the first Jamaat in the world to do English lectures. I think we should have rethought that process, because the mimbar itself says, uphold your heritage and your language. तो त्यारे जो हमें गुजराती ने उर्दू रायका होत तो हम आज इंग्लिश ना क्राइसिस में ना पैरा होत. But anyway, it is not too late to rectify. And as we know, in the last 6 years, we have promoted the Urdu language, the Gujarati language, and also actually Dr. Jamadiul Akhir had sent me a link. I don't know if he'll be able to play it, but at the Supreme Council 2022 was conference. And he gave a very long presentation on the Gujarati language and also our heritage. It is on YouTube. And he emphasized the fact that first of all, Gujaratis are businessmen. Vepari એટલે Gujarati. બરાબર છે ને? So he explained how the brain of a Gujarati is different from the rest of the world. There's a study which has been done from India that Gujaratis are unique. So you should be happy that you are Gujarati and not be ashamed, ke mane Gujarati nati bolu ne mane Gujarati ma I feel ashamed. Don't do it. You should be happy about it and glad that Allah has given you that I can say lineage. So it is very important as we go forward as a Jamaat, we uphold our culture, our heritage, our traditions, because that is where we come from. And if we don't hold on to that in the next 20 years, we will not know where we are going. I can give you that in writing. The people who don't know where they came from can never know where they are going. And that also applies to family, history, and heritage. If you look at families who know where they came from, they are from Mawa, they are from Bhavnagar, they are don't know from where. Those who know their history, they are proud, and till today they are in leadership positions because they understand where their family has come from and how much they have served. I don't know if Sadiq Bhai is a descendant of Devji Jamal, who was a very prominent figure in our community, and he's just called a Pakistani. He's not a Pakistani. He's a Khoja who has a very, honorable lineage. And many other brothers of ours from Pakistan who are members of Pirai Jamaat are here. The Bojani family, the other families from Pakistan, they are very honorable people who have done great service to our community, which we do not know, obviously, because maybe we've not traveled or not been, exposed to the history of our community. So, anyway, that is in the past, and it's not too late to make the changes. You want to say something? This is not an open forum, but you can say it after, inshallah. So now, You want to say something? I'm going to get the mic for you then. Ji. Okay. Yeah. No, no, leave it. Hmm? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay, thank you. So I think we'll have to tell Africa Federation to scrap the Gujarati issue project, World Federation to scrap the whole Koja Heritage project, and we move to English project. Anyway, so now please sit down. Let me just finish. So now in terms of the two plots we have here, the documentation is very clear, and it was presented to the community who brought this plot and who brought that plot. Is clearly documented. You can go and refer to those documentations. And since you went to campaign for my marhum father in where do you go? Madagascar, I am also standing for Africa Federation next year, so I hope you will go and campaign for me. I think that deserves a good laugh, right? So as First Day Basbai you have mentioned, the Haydari Madrasa has some documentation and history of our Jamat. It is important that when you have the celebration, we should have those displayed for the community to see. It's very important so that these archives can be appreciated by the community, inshallah. Sheikh Ali, you mentioned about upholding our culture and heritage. I think that is exactly why we have done this program, alhamdulillah. And thank you so much for your advice and your guidance. And also you mentioned some people who have benefited from the Jamaat. In future, inshallah, I think it will be a good idea if you can bring them over, because we may not know them, who have benefited from the Jamaat, and maybe can give us their story of how the Koja community has impacted their life. So it will be a good idea if you can please invite them in future for them to give us their story and how they have benefited from our community. So now, most importantly, why are we talking about all this history and all these things that we are even gathered here today for? It is for one reason. As we remember Sayyid Ali Murtaza Zaidi, when he was here, he said, the Koja community has its success because of one reason. Does anybody remember what the reason was? He said, obviously, Kojas were not born Muslims, right? They were born Hindus, some say Satpanth, then they became Ismaili. So they have different versions. But as per the World Federation, we went straight from Satpanth. Satpanth is, Sat is truth, and Panth is follower. The follower of truth is what our general, you can say, origins are. He said that the Khoja community has its success, and you can also check this generally. In every country in the world, in the top businessmen of that country, you will find a Khoja in it. It's remarkable, okay? But why is that success there? Is because of the love of the Ahlul Bayt. That is all. Our success, our philanthropy, our IQ, all this is linked to our love for the Ahlul Bayt. And he said that the more our community goes towards financial, you can say freedom or financial development, or whatever you want to call it, paisa bo avi gaya che, and we are moving away from the Ahlul Bayt. And that is one of the reasons why our community is dwindling in terms of unity, in terms of being together, in terms of our aqidah, because we are moving away from the source of our blessing in the first place. So we need to recalibrate that very strongly back to the reason why our forefathers left where they were and came to this path. Okay? As we are told many times in Majlis, Hajj to sab pढ़ते हैं, namaz to sab पढ़ते हैं. Okay? Nara Haydari sirf ye kaum पढ़ती है. Yeah, I think I'm quite in time. So now it's time for a thank you. So I would like to thank all the people who we have worked with. We have had 4 chair ladies in our term since 2018. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every subcommittee who have worked with Team Taqwa since 2018, who are the working arms of the managing committee. Now, you know, the managing committee doesn't do everything. The subcommittees do the work. The managing committee is, you can say, the governing body, and then there is the trustees. So the work is done by a lot of other people. It's not done by me, right? So all those people who have worked, I would like to take this opportunity to thank them. And the first being the 4 chair ladies we have worked with. Zara Bai Somani, who is the wife of our vice chairman for the first 2 terms. She served as the first term, and then we had Khairunisa Bai Kasam, who is the wife of Anis Bai Kasam. Then she migrated to Dar es Salaam. So my wife took over as the chair lady, so I would like to thank her for being the chair lady and working with us. And lastly, at the moment, we have Shine Bai Inayat, who is the wife of the current NJEB chairman. So thank you so much. And to also your all the ladies managing committee members, I would like to really thank you for working so well with us. We had Women's Development Committee when we took over. I think after COVID, it fizzled out. The lead at that time was Farhana Bai Jafar, very, you can say, dynamic individual. So thank you, Farhana Bai, for your time with us. The Children's Tabligh Committee, when Sheikh Noor came here in 2018, he said, do you have a Children's Tabligh Committee? And we said, no, we don't have. So he said, you must form it. And in 2018, we formed the Children's Tabligh Committee. I don't remember if it was from beginning, it was Modisa Bai Nanji, but at the moment she is the lead. And the whole committee, they do over marvelous, tremendous job to take care of children who are between the ages of 4 and 12. So thank you so much to all of you for a brilliant work you do. The media team, you can say, is one of the very essential parts. You know, in your body, you have essential organs, right? Heart, liver, kidney. So there are some essential organs of this Jamaat that are important to mention, because without them, actually, we would not be able to operate as smoothly as we do. The media team is here for every program, sometimes during the day, sometimes late at night. Maybe there's a burial in the middle of the day. They are the ones who conduct all the programs. So thank you so much to the media team. Alhamdulillah, we instituted elections of SAAJ Youth Union and Sayyidatul Nisa Youth, because we believe in real empowerment, not lip service empowerment. And when we did that, we had elections so that they can choose their leader themselves, and the chair of SYU was becoming automatically a member of the managing committee, which I have said this at Supreme Council, at Excos of the World Federation, that if you are empowering youth and women, empower them in reality, not just in words. So alhamdulillah, that has been done. It's not in the constitution, so inshallah, as the constitution review starts, it's a good idea to incorporate it into the constitution, that these bodies be independently elected they be put into the managing committee, because that's how they will learn. Because as we say, succession planning, bachao awe agar. So that's really how to do it, right? The catering team, again, I don't know whether to call it the heart or to call it the brain or what, but the catering team, very important part of our community. And you know, people say, oh, abo lavish menu chain, come on, what is it? Allah is the one who made it like that. When you eat chicken tikka, do you feel sad? So you feel happy. So feel happy because Allah made it that way. Enjoy yourself because Allah has made it that way. Khajur jare tame khao tame su lage che. Do you feel like you're eating what? Sour, I don't know. What is sour in life? I don't know what's sour. Me, I'm a very sweet guy. So, what is sour? Huh? Ha, khatu. Khatta kya hai bhai? Limbu, you see? Limbu, when you're eating khajur, you don't feel like eating limbu. Allah has created it in different ways for different purposes. So when you have a lavish menu on a kushali, just eat and enjoy and go home. Why is the problem? Okay? And when it's wafat, don't make it a big deal. Have simple food, have pani and go home. Because that is the atmosphere and culture we have to incorporate and inculcate in our next generation. As this guy said, he knows everything. So the children don't know. Maybe you know, but they don't know. So we have to teach them. The Haydari Madrasa leadership, including each and every teacher of the Madrasa, thank you so much. Because you are the ones who are teaching our children their foundations. It's not easy to run the Madrasa. I am going to say this now, and I've told him this in private many times. First lebas aoche, first lebas eoche. So tu kar, na hona kar shaku. To ine karwa de. You know, there's able to work and willing to work. There are many people who are able to work, but there are few who are willing to work. So those who are willing to work, complement their work. Don't try and put spanners every time. And first lebas by Chandu is not an angel. Approach him, tell him what you have to tell him, and inshallah, but I hope he has the fear of Allah, so he will listen to your contribution and improve the madrasa for the best of our children. So thank you so much to all of you at the Haydari Madrasa. The current NJEB, asante sana for your cooperation and your cordial relationship with us, which we have enjoyed for the past 2 years, not to mention the before. Our past and current trustees, I have mentioned this before, the rent-to-own scheme of Hadi would not have been possible without the support of Al-Hajj Anwar Merali and Al-Hajj Farad Shah. Those people were the ones who stood by us to institute and make the rent-to-own scheme possible, because without, generally, the managing committee is the supreme committee of the Jamaat. But the trustees can really mess you up. If you would like to know why or how, you can talk to Al-Hajj Asif Karim, he's sitting there, who is now the Chief Justice of the Africa Federation. Congratulations on your appointment for that. And inshallah, we hope to see a lot of good work from your team. So trustees can really mess you up. And those trustees stood by us and allowed us to do the rent-to-own scheme, which alhamdulillah many of us are benefiting from today. As I mentioned in the forum, none of my immediate family are beneficiaries of the rent-to-own scheme, so don't point fingers at me, just for the records. Our resident alim, Sheikh Ali Samoja, asante sana. You mentioned in one of your majalis that you are insulted or something. At this point, I would like to, on behalf of the community, tell you we are very sorry for that. And the person or people who did that, may Allah guide them, because there is nothing else to say for them. And we ask you to forgive them as well, and continue your good services to the Jamaat, inshallah. And also, as we have done a lot of things for the local brothers and sisters, inshallah we can continue with that as well. Sajid Bhai, Ismat Bhai, and all the staff of our Jamaat, thank you very much. Asante Nisana. A lot of hard work goes into running this place, and those who stay here till late know the carpet has to be cleaned, the furias have to be cleared. There's a lot of things to be done. This is a very big place, and it's a lot of hard work. So thank you so much for your contributions. And the last committee, who can guess the last committee? Asant. Gusal, Kafan, and Dafan. The last committee you will meet. And that's why we say, if you want to kosana with anybody, koi na saate pan jagro kari lyo. Gusal kafan wa saate jagro na karo. Okay? Because the last day you will enter that room and we are the ones who are going to wash you. Okay? And like Inayat Bhai Firdausi also likes to say, important point, that when you enter that room, no matter how tall you are, no matter how handsome you are, or beautiful you are, or rich you are, we will use the same sponge and the same soap to wash you. That is the reality of life. There is no special treatment there. You won't get cousins. What is it called? Cousins lather. Imperial lather. You will not get imperial lather there. You'll be given the same soap that we washed the previous guy with. There'll be no special treatment. We don't have heaters for, good-looking guys and cold water for bad-looking guys. Niyote the same. So, this is the very important point that, first of all, thank you so much to the Ghusl Kafan team. In COVID, we had 4 people who are doing back-to-back Ghusl, Kafan and Dafan. Each Kafan and Dafan takes about 4 to 6 hours, depending on the traffic, program for me. Ghusl program until Dafan is a long time. Okay? And there are times when we have done Ghusl here at 6:30 in the morning, including the ladies and the gents. Not an easy job, and also a big responsibility because it's a wajib action. It's not mustahab like many of the actions we do in the Jamaat. So, Asante Nisana, Fatma Bai Chakpar is the lead on the ladies' side. Inayat Bai Firdausi has been the lead for a long time on the gents. And to all the you can say team members of the Ghusl Kafan team, Asante Sana. And an apology, as I'm guided always by our elder, Dr. F.S. Abdallah. Be a leader, you are the chairman, all this. So now I have to be the chairman and say, my apologies for any unintentional actions that have happened. I have chosen my words very wisely. Unintentional actions, my apologies for them. And thank you all for your support, your input. There are times we have to Magaruzana, so it was good also. But once you have that disagreement, Dr. Imran Versi resigned. Today we are best friends, so it's a good thing. We are back, we are patched up. Okay, so it's a good thing. When you have a disagreement, you actually come back stronger. So to each and every one of the community of Nairobi Jamaat, of other Jamaats as well who have given us support, advice, guidance, I take this opportunity on behalf of the managing committee, Team Taqwa, the supporters, the trustees, to tell you thank you so much for your input and your support and your advice. And may Allah accept all our amal. So now, I would like to explain quickly about this bag. Okay, very good. So this is what everybody is going to get tonight. And why I want to explain it is because of sustainability. So first of all, I don't know if this hook is going to come out, but first of all, this is Hasbi Allah, which is engraved on this keyring. It's a wooden keyring. Hasbi Allah is sufficient for us. So that was a good one. In this bag, there is 2 towels, soap, jelly, and dates. So before I move on to the sustainability part, I would like to thank Allison Products, Abbas by Ali Muhammad, for giving us the soap free of cost. Tazama Digital Studios for doing the printing for us of the soap, you can say labeling free of cost. So thank you so much to them. Asante sana to the family of Dr. F.S. Abdallah for giving us dates. And as you know, Dr. F.S. every Ramadan gives us good goodies. So please continue even if Team Taqwa is not there, inshallah. Okay? And I think that is in terms of the donors for this particular gift, which is going to last in your house for a long time. Now, the reason why we chose these items is because it is going to be for a long time. As a community, when we are doing programs, when we are doing trophies, when we are doing anything of that sort, keep it sustainable, keep it cost effective, because we are answerable for this place. Okay? This is not our business. It is not our personal property. And nothing is anyway. Even your own house is not yours, it's Allah's. But more so for here, this belongs to the Imam. We will be very careful of how we utilize funds. And when we're giving things out, they should be sustainable for a long time. So this bag and these things that have been put here, they're going to last a long time. Plastic use in the complex needs to be looked into. There's a lot of research and data now collected about using plastic bottles. I see even many people in Majalis, and I've told them also, we've also made videos about it. Don't use plastic bottles because of microplastic. Then you will ask for clinic and hospital and Paka, I don't know, ICU. Why you want to become sick to end up there? So let's, as a community, think proactively, not reactively. Okay, you can be given multivitamin. It is proactive. Multivitamin is proactive. But if you take care of your health from now and not eat plastic or fish from the ocean which has plastic, you will not get sick. And if you have a healthy lifestyle, so sustainability for our community is very important. And in closing, as Sheikh Ali mentioned again, our culture, our heritage, our language, our history is very, very important to all of us so that we can remain on the direction of which our forefathers came to this religion in the first place. Otherwise, in the next generation, hum kahi aur honge aur wo kahi aur honge. Okay. So now I'd like to ask the media team to play the video so my address is finished. Thank you so much. Pole sana. And yeah, I'm not going anywhere, inshallah. After January, we will still be back in serving the community, inshallah. And I'm not standing for chairman. Don't need to bring resolution to bar me from standing. Don't worry. So basically, there was going to be the unveiling of the Khoja wall. I'm sure we've all seen the wall outside. Dr. Mohsin Jafar, last year in London, alhamdulillah, I was present there, gave an explanation of that wall and of our history. And by the way, Khojas are not just Veparis. We are originally from a place in Afghanistan, and we are a warrior clan. So when somebody tells you, "Jagara na karo," okay, loi mache jagara karo. Okay, a warrior no clan che usu karo. Okay, kali vepari ne dhando nati karwano. So you fight for the right, not just fight for anything. By the way, it's very important to state here. You can fight for the wrong or the right. It depends on what you're fighting for. So fight for the right reason, and that is from our ancestors. So please play that video. I think that will do the best justice for tonight in terms of explaining the Khoja wall. And after that, I would like to ask those cakes to be brought in front, one in the ladies, one in the gents. And anybody who wishes to come cut the cake, please come in front and cut the cake. As we mentioned, this is an all-inclusive program. There's nobody who is being given preferential treatment. So please come forward. Those cakes, wherever they are, please bring them forward. Play the video, please.
સાંભળો રઝા અલીભાઈ અમે તમને મોલા બાપા બોલાવે છે એમને એમ નહીં તમે તન ધન ને મન આપ્યું ખોજાવ સારું મહેરબાની તમારી બાપા 1000 years ago our Mark and Hasnain Walji, Iqbal Akhtar from Miami and Kumail Rajani, all these guys have done research and we are very grateful to them, but it starts from the Lohana days. Now who are the Lohanas? The Lohana community is very advanced community. You know, if you are from Uganda, Muljibai Madwani, Kalidas Mehta, and they have done 20-year research. They've used Cambridge University, they've used Leeds, and even Netherlands University. So they've done really very cogent research, and you can go to their websites. So let me quickly tell you who are the Lohanas. આપણે લોહાના છે પણ કોણ છે આ? તો તમે જો આ ગુજરાત છે નહીં? હા. લોહાનાનો origin આવ્યું from here, south of Uzbekistan and northern Afghanistan. They are the ones who defeated the Mongols. They were the warrior class. Lohanas were the warriors. They defended the old Bharat. This whole was one country. There was no India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. They defended that. They were the fighters. They defeated the Mongols, okay? And when Alexander the Great came, they fought against him and defeated him. He got injured and finally died in Alexandria. But he was defeated by the Lohanas. Lohanas came into Multan and Lahore Gut. So that's where they were called Lohar Rana. Rana is soldier. Lohar Rana. Lohar Rana mati Lohana થઈ ગયું. એ લોકો પછી નીચે આવ્યા and they came into Gujarat as immigrants. Lohanas are immigrants in Gujarat, and it defines them differently. They are taller. They've got wider shoulders. They are the martial race. આપણે ગુજરાતી બધા ધંધાવાળા, businessmen, okay? But they melded with us. They were soldiers they became from Kshatriyas, they became into Vaishyas, and they became equal to other Gujaratis as workers, as businessmen. And then you know the story about them. but there is a medical problem. So now that's why you see a tall guy like Arif, okay? And we are fairer. We are fairer than other Gujaratis. We have got broader shoulders, and we've got another characteristics. We are brave, we are adventurous, and we are fearless because we were soldiers. We defeated the Mongols, we defeated Alexander the Great. That spirit is what made us great. The Lohanas, who are Hindus, we converted to Islam. But we had the same spirit, and our forefathers went in this 4 or 5 months of journeys and went into Africa and started all over the world, new businesses, fearless. And that spirit exists with us. And Ali Bhai, તમારો મહેરબાન છે કે આપણે, we should not forget that we are a warrior class. We are fighters. We'll fight everything. But we are brothers. So there's one bad fact about this, the medical fact. Doctor Numana Mullani Dor Masjid Sudi. But doctor, we have thalassemia. No Gujaratis have thalassemia. Only the Lohanas, the Ismailis, and us Khojas. Why? Because when Alexander came to fight with us, the Greeks, they settled down and they became part of our heritage. If you do your DNA test, you will find that you've got Mediterranean blood in you. 10, 20, 25%. And that has given us thalassemia. And World Federation 15 years ago made a decision that tamne chokra chokri ne panvu che, get your thalassemia test done, because if both of you have thalassemia, your child will have a big problem. We inherited this from the Greeks. And we're the only Gujaratis, the Lohanas and us, who have that. This is our history. And they are continuing that history. You can go to their website. But I want to leave you feeling very proud that you're not just Vepari Manso, but you are soldiers, and you are now soldiers of Imam Zamana. Thank you. Salawat.
So as you can see, a very proud Khoja who was talking there, Dr. Mosi Jafar, when he was talking about the Khoja wall. And as he has said, no problem. As he has mentioned, we should be proud of where we have come from and where we are today. So I think that's about it. And as I said again, we are supposed to hold on to the Ahlul Bayt. And the best representation of the Ahlul Bayt in our community is a mankabat. So I would like to ask now the MC to take over and now continue the program, inshallah. And then you'll just call anybody who wishes to cut the cake in front. Whoever comes, they come. If nobody comes, you cut the cake and give it out. So, okay. So thank you so much. The chair lady on the lady side, please take over for the ladies to come in front and cut the cake. Once the mankabat is over, and then we will have the ladies will go up for dinner, and the gents will stay down, inshallah. Once again, thank you so much. Polisana, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You know, when he said Khojas are tall, thin, fit warriors, I was thinking some of us, we are not Khojas. We are all Pidis and Hashmis and golden spoons. In the next itinerary, as the chairman mentioned, is a mankabat. The reciter now is also somebody whose voice I admire. He was a student of mine in Dar es Salaam Madrasa, so I have so many of his secrets. If his family members want to know, Brother Muzammil, please come forward. Now, I think, do we do it simultaneously? As it's being recited? Okay. No? So first someone? Okay. And then we call. Sa. Yeah, please come.
Didn't you? Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. अपनी आँखों से ही देख लेना मुफ्तियों तुम जरा चलते चलते अपनी आँखों से ही देख लेना मुफ्तियों तुम जरा चलते चलते रोंद डालेंगे फतवे तुम्हारे ये जुलूसे अज़ा चलते चलते अपनी आँखों से ही देख लेना। मुफ्तियों तुम ज़रा चलते चलते। तो को जंजीर ये कह रहे थे, ए यजीद अब है तेरी तबाही। तो को जंजीर ये कह रहे थे, ए यजीद अब है तेरी तबाही। जिसको बीमार समझाता तूने, शाम तक आ गया चलते चलते। अपनी आँखों से ही देख लेना यार, अपनी आँखों से ही देख लेना। मुफ्तियों तुम ज़रा चलते चलते। लग रहा है कि मेरी लहद में कोई सूरज तुलू हो रहा है। लग रहा है कि मेरी लहद में कोई सूरज तुलू हो रहा है। दोस्तों ने कफन में रखी थी, थोड़ी खा के शिफा चलते चलते। अपनी आँखों यार, अपनी आँखों से ही देख लेना। मुफ्तियों तुम ज़रा चलते चलते। मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु।
So I've just been reminded to thank the Musafakana, all our alims, ulama, our guests stay at the Musafakana, doing a brilliant job. Thank you so much to the current administration and their staff. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Brother Muzammil as well. To be very honest, as much as you might think, you might feel it looks like I want to eat the cake by myself, I do not. So I would like to request you please come in front so that I don't have to call out your names. Of course, Sheikh Ali will start with you. Malim Fazle will go next with you as well. We call a couple of people who can, yeah. So even those on wheelchairs, I think we can, yeah. And for the ladies, for the sisters as well, to please come in front as well. Anyone related to, yeah. Anyone related to Brother Muzammil from both sides, please come in front. Tasin. So, Tasin looks like he doesn't want to be here. 2 minutes. I've been asked any past chairman to please come in front. Any past chairman of Jamaat, okay, of any institution. Okay. So medical doctors. Al-Hajj Asif Karim to please come in front. Medical doctors, whether you are dermatologists, gynecologists, infectious disease specialists, please come in front. No, psychiatrists, no. Faraz, we'll take a picture, please. Chachu, photo ziyarat, please. Tawajjuh ziyarat.
توجه زيارة. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا علي من المؤمنين وابن سيد الوسيين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليك يا إمام زين العابدين، السلام عليك يا محمد الباقر، السلام عليك يا جعفر الصادق، السلام عليك يا موسى الكاظم، السلام عليك يا علي الرضا، السلام عليك يا محمد الجواد، السلام عليك يا علي حادي النقي، السلام عليك يا حسن العسكري، السلام عليك يا إمام صاحب العصر والزمان، الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان، السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان، عجل الله فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقاعدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا تسكنه عرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا.